Hi everyone, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with my August reading wrap up. I read 7 books in August and I DNF'd 1 book. I had quite a good reading month. I enjoyed mostly, for the most part, the books that I read. So yeah, without much further ado, let's get into those books. These aren't in reading order, they're just in the order that I had them in for the thumbnail photo. So yeah. The first one that I've got on the pile here is a very short one, tiny little thing, and it is My Flower Garden by Agatha Christie. This is a poem, and yeah, it talks about the flowers through the seasons, and it was lovely and I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy to have this lovely little niche rare book in my collection. I really enjoyed this. As we all know, Agatha Christie is my favourite author. So yeah, and it was illustrated by Richard Allen and the illustrations are gorgeous. Let me find one of my favourites. So this was one of my favourites, Doves. I thought it was beautiful. The whole book was just so gorgeous, and it took me probably about half an hour to get through because I just enjoyed the words and I enjoyed the pictures, and yeah, I really liked it. So the next one that I read is this one. It's 7 Kinds of People You Find in Bookshops by Shaun Bythell. I recently read The Diary of a Bookseller by the same author and I absolutely adored it. So I purchased his 2 other books directly from his bookshop, the Bookshop in Wigtown, down in the sort of near the borders between Scotland and England. And yeah, I read this, I absolutely loved it. So acidly funny. He talks about the different kinds of customers and people and characters that come into his shop, and yeah, he's not very nice about them, but in the nicest possible way, if that makes sense. This was great. I love this and I can't wait to read his next book, I think it was before this one, but the next book for me, which I think is called Confessions of a Bookseller. So yeah, I look forward to that, but this was very good and I highly recommend it. So the next one that I read, I think I read this sort of, well, I read it towards the beginning of August, and it was A Caribbean Mystery by Agatha Christie. This was August's pick for Christie Fest, and this is a Miss Marple. She's on holiday in the Caribbean, and murder occurs, and she figures out what happens, or what happened rather, and this was just great. This was a reread for me, so I've read this twice. This is my second time now. And I love that with all of Agatha Christie's books, they stand up to being reread. There is so many sort of little things that you don't necessarily notice the first time round that you do second, third, even 4th and 5th times around. But yeah, I would highly recommend this one also. Very good. And I love this edition as well. It's gorgeous. So the next one that I read was actually a gift from one of the girls I work with. So a shout out to Leonie. And this is Mr. Happy and the Office Party by Roger Hargreaves. And this is one of the Mr. Men books, but for grown-ups. So this tells the story of an office party and all the sort of shenanigans that go on. And it was very, very fun. And pictures like this. It has mostly all the Mr. Men characters that we all read as children, and this is just a great little book for adults, and I hope to pick up more. I hope there are more of these. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, this was fun and I really liked it. So the next book is the one that I DNF'd. So this will be the 3rd book that I've DNF'd from the TBR jar that my husband Duncan created for me back in January of this year. I tried about, goodness knows, about 3, maybe 4 or 5 times to get into this, and I could only get past about sort of page 10 or 15, and I couldn't, and I decided, no, it is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Kesey. Yeah, not for me. I didn't enjoy the writing style, and yeah, I've been told that the film is very good, so I should give that a go. But yeah, I couldn't get into it. So yeah, here's hoping for September's pick from the TBR jar being better. Yeah. So the next one that I read, well, this was the last book I read in August. I loved this so much. This was so much fun. It is The Devil Defeated by Barbara Cartland. This was is a romance, and it's set in the early 1800s. The Battle of Waterloo has just taken place, and a new earl has come to the town of Little Sodbury. Dorina is the vicar's daughter, but she is also a distant relation of the new earl. The crazy parties that are going on in the house are a subject of disdain for the villagers and the people who work in and around the estate, and it turns out that not all is as it seems with the new earl. He isn't aware that people have been put out of jobs and that people aren't happy with how things are going, and there is someone else who is hell-bent on the new earl's demise, and he begins to use black magic and hails to Satan that he will give him a sacrifice of a young virgin if he allows this new earl to die and for him to take on the earldom. It was so very good. It was a tiny little read, but it took me ages because work kept getting in the way. This is the second Barbara Cartland book that I have read, and I really loved it. I have a collection of 40 of these. These came out in the mid-1980s, and I picked these up on eBay a few months ago. I didn't haul them on my channel because I just didn't, but yeah, I do plan to read these. So the wrap-ups will act as a haul for for my Barbara Cartlands. But yeah, I absolutely loved this. This was an easy read and it was great fun. Yeah, a dose of witchcraft and black magic and romance and love, and it was fun, and I can't wait to read more. So the next book that I have here to show you is Diary of a Young Naturalist. I read this as part of the Frank Book Club, which used to be Sykes and Savage Book Club, hosted by the lovely Simon Savage and Melanie Sykes. This is by Dara McAnulty, and he is a young naturalist. I think he was 15 at the time that this book was written, and he was 17 when it was published. He's a young autistic man, like a young autistic boy, man? We'll say a young man. He has autism, and he is very in touch with nature and in touch with the rhythms of the seasons, and he uses his knowledge of nature and the seasons and the natural world and animals and creatures and beasties and all that kind of thing to kind of help him through his daily life and his coping mechanisms with his autism and his stimulation, all part of that, autism and how he deals with it. But yeah, this was very good. I really liked this. Again, this was one that took me a while to read because again, work kept getting in the way, but yeah, I would highly recommend this. And I actually, when I knew that this was going to be August's pick for Frank Book Club, I went out to Topping and Company in St Andrews and I bought a signed paperback edition. And then a couple of days later, I was in a charity shop and I found this. And it was an unread first edition copy and I couldn't not. So yeah, I get to keep my signed paperback edition in pristine condition. I've pretty much kept this in the same kind of pristine condition because I'm not rough with my books. I keep them nice. But yeah, this would be a book that I would recommend. So the last book I have to show you is one that I have not yet hauled because pretty much as soon as I got it, I read it. So I thought, well, I'll haul it in my wrap up at the end of the month. And it's a big one. It is The Bench by Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. I loved this. This was so beautiful. The artwork is stunning. It tells the story of the bond between a father and son as seen through the eyes of a mother. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Clearly it's written about Harry and Archie, But yeah, the artwork in this is just gorgeous. I mean, for instance, this here, and let me get another one that's lovely. Okay, and the colours that are used are just stunning. And then there was another one towards the end that I really liked. Was it that one? Well, there was actually two I really liked. So there was this one, night sky and a shooting star, and a father and son sitting on a bench, and then angry clouds and the seaside, and again a father and son sitting on a bench. This was just gorgeous. I really loved this. When I saw it in Tesco's, I had to pick it up, and it's one that I'll probably read again, because it just has such a lovely message to pass on. But yeah, that was my reading wrap up for August. I had a good reading month. What did you read? Did you enjoy? Did you DNF any books? Are there any books that you wanted to get to and didn't? Let me know. Let's have a chat about it down in the comments. But for now, I will let you go and get on with your day. Thank you so much for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye bye.